Okay, so if you're new to Imagen AI, maybe you haven't used it before, I'm gonna do kind of a little walkthrough, but we're not gonna go and cull a full gallery. I actually have one already culled, and I'm gonna kind of show you how it works and how you can kind of use it and almost customize it to fit your needs. So I already have a project set up. So the first thing you're gonna do when you open Imagen AI is you're gonna open it up. You're gonna see two different tabs. You're gonna see the AI profile tabs, which is where you would add your profiles or, create a profile on your own. We'll talk about that in another video. Then you're gonna have your active projects, right? So we're gonna go and we're gonna create a project. It's gonna pop up either cull or edit. We're gonna click cull, very simple. So once we click cull, it's gonna launch this page right here. You're gonna see this page and you're going to go in and you're going to pick the Lightroom catalog that you want to cull. So I already have a gallery already started, so we're not gonna go through that process, but I'm gonna show you basically what you would do if you're starting from scratch. So you're gonna click the gallery. These are all my Lightroom catalogs right here. And then you would click it and then it would load that. It would load everything and populate it. It would start to cull, all that stuff. Since I already have a project already started, I'm gonna go over to that project. So I'm gonna go back home. We're gonna go to our projects. And this, you could see all my projects. All of these are editing projects right now, things that I've run through. So I did do a cull recently. So here's a project that I already started, and we're gonna go and review the culling. This will basically give you an idea of what the cull will look like. So one of the cool things about Imagen AI is you can actually see what your edits are going to look like through the cull. So you can actually turn this feature off or you can keep it on. Me personally, I like to have it on because why not? You get to see what the images are gonna look like when you set them to editing. So right now I have one of my profiles actually applied to this, so I already know what it's gonna look like when I send it to editing. There might be a few variations here or there, but for the most part, this is what the final gallery or images will look like. So let me go ahead and walk you through just a couple things that Imagen does. So right here on the top part, it's gonna show you basically what camera you used. Then you can go over here. This is going to basically be like your flag pickers, like if you want it picked or not picked. Then you have your stars. And this is kind of where Imagen does the culling part. So you have your keepers, you have your standalones, and then you have your duplicate images. So standalones are kind of interesting on how it finds those. It might be something that's even something that you're doing that's maybe creatively that it notices that is a standalone image, right? So maybe you are doing portraits with their eyes closed intentionally. It's gonna find that. Or maybe you're intentionally doing blurry images. It's gonna find that. So that's where you're gonna wanna kind of look to see maybe it picked something that you knew was in there that didn't make it into the keepers. Go and look in your standalones because it might be actually in that portion. So here's a feature that I absolutely love with Imagen AI's culling, and that is that they have the keyboard shortcuts right here for you. So if you are somebody who uses keyboard shortcuts and you're going through your images and maybe you want to like remove a keeper or add a keeper, it's all right here. It tells you where it's at. It's easy to find, very simple, absolutely love it. Okay, so for this session, I shot about 1,005 images. Out of the 1,005 images, we can actually go to the overview of what the culling did. So this is the project name. It's what I built into the catalog. And then this is the profile name that I used, Aspire Moody. It's actually a new profile that I'm working on right now. And this is the rating methods and status that it used. So this is basically how it selects your images. And we talked about this a little bit. So we have 1-star keepers, it's 197. We have 2 stars, which are our duplicates, it's 747. And the reason there's a lot of duplicates is just kind of how I shoot. I shoot in a way where I'm shooting 2 to 3 of the same images. And that's kind of fine if it's gonna find those duplicates. Then you have your 3-star standalones. And these are the ones that we talked about earlier, where these are gonna be the ones you want to kind of look over. Look over your standalones, making sure it's something that you want in your gallery, that you don't want in your gallery. Then we're gonna have basically our no stars and no flags, all that stuff. Grouping criteria is something that you actually pick early on in the culls. So I didn't show you this because this is a gallery that I started already, but when you originally start your cull, this is kind of the grouping criteria that you can pick. I picked it to be very similar, so that's probably why it found a lot of duplicates in this as well. Everyone has their own way on how they do things. So if you don't want to do this grid view, you can always do the loop view, which is gonna give you one singular image, and then you can kind of go through it like that. And you can kind of just see it if you want to like see the image bigger or anything like that. I like to do the grid view because I can kind of see more, and then you can also filter it. So if you want to do capture date, file name, star rating, what it's flagged, all that stuff, you could do that. So just do the capture date because, you know, that way the images are in order of how I shot it. One of the cool things, we talked about this already, is that you can actually see what your images will look like edited. Well, if you want to turn that off, it's just right here on the bottom. You can click that. These are straight out of camera images. This is how I shot them. And then you could see the edits right here. So very cool feature. You can export these out into Lightroom. So you have all the star ratings built in, and then you can kind of finish it in Lightroom. Or if you want to kind of just eliminate the duplicates and just stick with the keepers and the standalones, then you would just go up to the star rating. You would take off the duplicates. That's this one right here. That's the 2-star. So it's gonna leave me with about 747 images, which is, you know, probably a little more than what I would normally deliver, but you know, I can actually just export those into Lightroom if I wanted, or I can just edit the 747 photos and deliver those. Imagen's made it really easy if you ever need help. There is a built-in guide or tour that will help you if you get stuck or if you have any questions. So if you click this little icon right here, the little question mark, it's gonna bring up this whole tutorial kind of tour on how you can change things. Things like tweaking your ratings, for instance, right? While most of the picks right off the bat, in my opinion, are great, maybe you want to change how it's selected, whether it's picked by the color or picked by the star. This overview will tell you how to do that, and you can kind of figure it out and kind of make it work for you, how you want it to work, rather than, you know, choosing what it does for you. So this has been a quick overview of Imagen AI's culling, and like we said in the beginning, culling sucks, but imagine doing it the old way.